Hey guys, what's up? Just wanted to show you a cool tutorial on setting up a reverse proxy on your local server. For me, it's Unraid. You can use TrueNAS, you could use Proxmox, you could use anything that you can use Docker containers easily with, pretty much. Um, And yeah, so here's what we're going to build. Here's kind of the diagram I laid out for us. So the user on you or a friend or family member, whoever, can access a website, a free DNS website, um, through their laptop, computer, phone, streaming device, whatever. Um, So that will go to your free DuckDNS with a free LetsEncrypt TLS or SSL certificate. Um, so this is a placeholder, your name.duckdns.org. So I'll get to that later on DuckDNS on the actual website. But basically, you'll be able to type in a simple URL that you'll remember whatever you want to create, like techwest.duckdns.org, for example. Um, it's all free, and you'll be able to go to that website that you made running on your local server securely with SSL certificate encrypted, and it will load through your reverse proxy. So you are going to your reverse proxy as a Docker container, your NGINX proxy manager, which then is pointing to another Docker container, in this case, your Jellyfin media server container. These are all example local IP addresses that I've entered. I'll zoom in so you can see this better. So essentially all these are Docker containers aside from, well, Unraid, which is your OS, my OS. And here's the ports for each of them, the standard ports. And so in NGINX, it will just point to Jellyfin. And again, you'll be accessing these through a simple, easy to remember domain from anywhere, which is pretty awesome. No more dealing with, say, you're using Unraid Connect and you have to log into your Unraid Connect, or you could just send this to a friend or family member, make a guest account, have them log in, and access it from anywhere. It's awesome. And they can remember the URL. You don't have to give them a WAN IP or anything. So let's get into the actual setup of this. So first, before anything, get a notepad out. I made an example for this. So this is a made up WAN IP. I'm not going to give you my WAN IP. Sorry. But you'll click on what's my IP address in Google or whatever search engine. You'll go to this website. It'll show your wireless IP address. So, for example, this. You'll then log in. Here, I'm going to go to my blur setup first. So, yeah, I know it's funny with the blurring. You'll log in through an email or GitHub, whatever. You will type in, I made this is fake. This is just a placeholder. But you'll type in whatever domain, subdomain you'll want through here. Again, all free. You get up to 5 subdomains through DuckDNS, and it will automatically create something right here, which again I'm hiding so you can't see my WAN IP. And through that, it will generate a token as well up here, right here, where you see my mouse. And you'll need that for your Docker container. So save both of those on a notepad, your wireless IP and your token. Okay. So once those are saved on a notepad locally, I hope, don't be trusting Google Cloud or anything like that. At least I don't, but you do you. You will, on DuckDNS, on your Docker container, you will enter that token that's generated in there. And you will add your domain name on the filter or the little input box. And so that should be good after that. So then you're done with DuckDNS. And then after that, you'll use NGINX Proxy Manager, which again, I've blurred out some things so you can't see certain things. But yeah, so in here, you'll add a proxy host, and in there, you'll enter some of your info of your destination IP, which will show up here, which will be your, again, here's the diagram. It will be your server's IP address with whatever whatever port you're trying to point to. So for my Docker container, for my Jellyfin port, it is 8096. So we will enter that into NGINX. And to access NGINX, I would assume you know how containers work, how to use the web UI on your Docker or on your Unraid server or TrueNAS, whatever you're using. So once that's configured, basically NGINX will point from that DuckDNS you entered, the source on your left here, which will be that URL, yourname.duckdns.org. So that's your source. That's your URL. And that URL is going to point to your destination right here, which is your local IP of your server with that port, that Jellyfin port of that Jellyfin Docker container. So 8096. Why do I keep saying 80? And the SSL encryption, again, is already on DuckDNS, so you don't need to configure any SSL in here. It will just be encrypted automatically with HTTPS. So that's great. And hopefully, after everything, and you give it public access, your status will say online, and you'll be good to go in that regard. And the port typically for NGINX is port 81. So that's on my OneNote. So it'll look something like this to access your NGINX proxy manager in case you're having trouble with that. But again, web UI and as a Docker container in Unraid or TrueNAS, whatever you're using. Again, the whole setup is your server, your local IP, going through your DuckDNS, your Docker container, and your subdomain URL to your proxy, your reverse proxy, and then that's pointing to your Jellyfin server. And you can do this for whatever container you want to do it for. But the cool part is you have this middleman of your reverse proxy. So it's not just going straight to your container. Which when I set this up, I I stayed up late one night and I was like, oh wow, so that's how easy it is now to just set up a reverse proxy. And yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys because you don't have to open ports on your router. I was doing all this port forwarding and all this stuff. That's kind of a thing of the past in a lot of ways. I'm not completely. I know someone might get, whatever about that, but you can use Tailscale now. You can create these encrypted tunnels. You can use Cloudflare tunnels. Um, that's another way of doing this. Um, there's ways to set it up to where you don't need Tailscale on a device. But I'm not doing that. So I'm just setting up a reverse proxy. Um, it's pointing to a local Docker container on my server that I can access from anywhere with the appropriate login. And if you do this, set up maximum password attempts of both accounts, create a guest account so your friends and family can use your media server. And yeah, just oh, I still have it on the blur, sorry. um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll show you real quick too. Let me see if I'm um so so let's dive into Docker now. So here's what the Docker containers might look like. I figured I'd just add this with the black boxes. So yeah, repository. Here's DuckDNS. You set it to bridge. I'm not using Tailscale, no privilege. Updata, DuckDNS. Okay, that's all normal. That's preset. And then you add your subdomains here, whatever you name them. So TechWest, whatever. Your token, here's where you enter your DuckDNS token for it to work properly. And then you hit apply when you're done. And here's what my Jellyfin home media server Docker settings look like. This is more just pass for data, but hit apply and you're good to go. That wraps it up here. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. Please like and subscribe so I can make some more videos and hopefully get some more subscribers. Thank you. Appreciate it.